Could you justify your AI subscription out loud right now? I couldn't. I paid for ChatGPT Plus for a year without questioning it. Then I tested Claude side by side. Same tasks, same routine. By the end, I had canceled ChatGPT, and one specific moment changed everything. Let me show you. Let me give you some quick context first, and by the end of this section, you'll know exactly whether this test applies to you or not. I wear a few different hats in my daily life. I study, I do freelance work on the side, and I have regular office-type work, reports, emails, and documents. All of that. So when I test a tool like this, I'm not testing it for one type of person. I'm testing it across everything I actually do in a normal week. Which of those three sounds most like you? Student, freelancer, or office worker? Keep that answer in mind, because one of the next three sections is specifically about your situation. Don't skip it. For about 2 weeks, whenever I had a real task, I ran it through both tools and compared the results. No special prompts, no tricks, just my normal work. Here's what I found, starting with the area where I was most skeptical. I'll start with studying because honestly, I expected nothing here. Every AI tool claims it helps you study, but most of them just give you shallow summaries. I uploaded a long, dense reading I had to get through, the kind of PDF you keep putting off. You know the one I mean, right? The one that's been sitting in your downloads folder for a week? And I noticed Claude didn't just summarize it. It explained the main argument, pointed out where the reasoning was strong or weak, and gave me questions I could actually think about. That helped me understand the material, not just skim it. I also used it for essay writing. When I asked for help with an outline, it first asked me what I was actually trying to argue. And when my argument had gaps, it pointed them out instead of just agreeing with me. I found that genuinely useful because I don't want a tool that flatters me. I want one that improves my work. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever asked an AI for feedback and it just agreed with everything you said? Drop a yes in the comments if that's happened to you, because that difference is exactly what I'm talking about. For problem solving, I tried some step-by-step math and stats questions. I liked that it explained the method as it went. I wasn't just copying an answer, I was actually learning how to solve it. But here's the thing, studying wasn't the moment that made me switch. That came later, during my freelance work. And it's coming up right now. Now the freelance side, where time really is money. This is the section with the moment. Watch for it. The first thing I tested was client emails. We all get those awkward messages from a client asking for extra work outside the agreed scope or pushing back on something. Quick show of hands in the comments. What's the most awkward client message you've ever had to answer? I know you have one. I pasted mine in and asked for a reply that was polite, but firm. The response didn't sound robotic or overly formal. It sounded natural, like something I would actually send. I made a couple of small edits and sent it. The second thing was documents, and this was the moment I mentioned at the start. I uploaded an old agreement I'd been reusing for years and asked it to clean up the wording and formatting. What I got back was a properly formatted file, not just plain text dumped in the chat. I sat there for a second, honestly a little surprised because reformatting documents is exactly the kind of boring work I've been doing manually for years. That was the first time I thought, okay, this might actually change my routine. Was that moment underwhelming to you? Maybe. But that's exactly the point. The things that actually save you time are never flashy. Remember that, because it comes back in my final verdict. I also found it useful for small, practical things. Quick calculations for pricing, drafting proposals, and organizing my notes for a client call. Nothing dramatic, just steady, reliable help with everyday work. And if you freelance too, I'm curious. What's the one task that eats your time every single week? Put it in the comments, because I'm collecting these for a future video. Then there are regular professional work reports, presentations, and long email threads. And this section has the feature I think most people don't even know exists. If you only watch one section fully, make it this one. I gave it a rough summary I'd written in bullet points, half-finished thoughts, and unorganized numbers, and asked for a clean, professional version. Instead of just rewording my bullets, it restructured the whole thing into something that actually flowed the problem, the data, and the recommendation. That's the kind of writing I usually spend way too long on. Honest question, How much of your work week goes into formatting and polishing things rather than actual thinking? For me, it was hours. I didn't realize how many until this test. I also tested document creation. I asked it to turn my analysis into a proper Word file and a presentation, and I got files I could actually use with only minor edits. For me, that alone was a big deal. And here's the underrated feature I promised: long documents. I gave it a full meeting transcript and asked for the action items. It picked them out accurately, without inventing tasks that nobody mentioned. When I checked it against my own notes, it hadn't missed anything. If you've ever had an AI confidently make something up, like a fake source or a fake fact, a type of hallucination in the comments, let's see how many of us got burned. So those are the tests. Now the real question: was all of this actually worth canceling a subscription over? Here's my honest answer. Before I give you my final verdict, let me quickly sum up the 5 things that made the difference. If you're skipping around this video, this is the part to watch. And at the end of this list, I'll tell you the one thing I'd say to anyone still on the fence. First, I felt like it understood context better. Simple questions got simple answers. Complicated tasks got proper, thought-through responses. Second, it handled my documents properly. I uploaded files and got usable files back, with the formatting intact. Third, it pushed back when I was wrong. If my logic didn't hold up, it said so. I'd rather have that than constant agreement. Fourth, the writing sounded natural. Emails, reports, and essays. The tone matched what I needed, and they didn't read like a template. And fifth, it was more honest about uncertainty. When it wasn't sure about something, it said so, instead of confidently making things up. Now, that one thing I promised for people on the fence. I'm not saying ChatGPT is bad. It's not. It worked fine for me for a long time. But remember what I said earlier. The things that save you time are never flashy. When I compared both tools side by side on my own boring, everyday work, Claude simply fit the way I work better. That's the whole decision. Fit, not hype. Do you agree with that way of choosing tools over features? Or do you think I'm missing something? Genuinely, tell me below. I read the pushback comments first. Here's my honest advice. Don't cancel anything just because I did. My workload isn't your workload. What I'd suggest instead is doing what I did. Take a week or two, use both tools for your real tasks, and compare the results yourself. That's the only comparison that actually matters. Now before you go, 2 questions for you. 1. Which tool are you using right now, and are you actually happy with it? I genuinely want to know, so tell me in the comments. And 2. What's the one task you'd want me to test next? The best suggestion gets featured in my next video, where I'm also breaking down the pricing plans, because I found out I was probably overpaying this whole time. If you don't want to miss that one, subscribe now. Thanks for watching.